Hey guys, Sean Zinn, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. Just doing a couple little finishing touches, making sure that we have everything out there, making sure everything is public, making sure we can get this out to groups. Those that are watching, why I do these is to provide value. It's all about educating. I've found that the more value we bring to you, the more that you're going to remember us for any services that we provide. So we don't even have to talk about what we do, but for those that are out there, we want you to sit back, enjoy, listen, but also take action. Implement some of the ideas that we go over with you today. And if it works for you, this is where we would love it, is if you try some of the things we talk about and it works or it doesn't work, tell us. We want to know. We want to get that feedback, and that would be phenomenal. So I want to bring on my guest, Vanessa Regalado. How are you today?
Good morning, everybody. Good.
Thanks for joining us today on a Saturday. A lot of people, it's a summertime, but I also say, hey, we could spend 30 minutes with some people online, educate them, and they're going to remember it. And it's important.
Especially with awesome people like you and me.
It's for sure. You got to be able to, have some value and listen to what we're doing. We've been in the business for a long time, so we want to make sure that people learn from us as well. So, Vanessa, I would love for you to give us an elevator. If someone comes up to you and says, "Who are you?" What do you say?
Oof. 2 years ago, it will be a complete different story. Today, it's a whole new story. Well, who I am, I'm a mother of two, have two beautiful boys. They're 8 and 5 with 2 guinea pigs.
Two.
2 guinea pigs. I'm surrounded by beautiful men in my life. 2 guinea pigs and my 2 beautiful boys. And I own a property management company. We are a full service management company. We do anything from renting the apartments, collecting rent, dealing with all the legality of handling the tenants. And also within the company, we have a sales department as well. So we're able to help our clients buy and sell more properties if it's needed. We manage all in the area of North Jersey and Central Jersey as well. How did I start with this business? It's a crazy, crazy story. Long story short, I was working for a major electronic corporation when I graduated from college. I landed the job maybe a month later. After graduation, my father was extremely thrilled and happy. I was making $60,000 to begin with. That was 13 years ago. And I quit after a month. I hated it. I hated the people. I hated the job. I hated everything about corporate. I think it was very strange. I think it was very discriminating against women in business at that point as well. Being the only female in the office was a manager, a district manager. So I endure a lot of discrimination in the sense that the male employees were very rude and very sexual about comments that they made against myself. So I hated it, I quit it, and then I went into real estate making half of that money as an admin assistant at that point. And my father thought I was crazy. He's like, she went nuts. You know how long it took me to make $60,000 in here, and you're just quitting and going for something that is going to pay you half of that. And I never looked back. I went into real estate and eventually into property management, opened my own company. And I have never looked back, and I have never regretted it, building my own business.
That's important for that you said that as far as regret. A lot of people, say, oh, I wish I had. You did it. You took a leap of faith. You have the energy, you have the passion. You could hear it in your voice, how passionate it is about your business, and how, you have your whys. You said it early. You have your 2 boys and your 2 guinea pigs, but the 2 boys are your whys and why you are the way you are and how they drive. I'm sure they put you into a higher gear in your day. So you might have a day, it's not going the right way. Maybe the calls are not going right. You're having some tenants that are giving you some issues, but you remember them. And boom, now you're going back into a higher gear because you can't just stop. You got to make sure, because being an entrepreneur, you don't have a paycheck guaranteed, right?
Oh.
You got to wake up. You got to make sure you're prospecting. You got to make sure you're doing things that you're going to be bringing business in and making things happen. And I liked how we were talking before we came live, and you took a vacation. And a lot of people don't take vacations because they work a lot, they don't have the time. But you also, I loved how you said experiences are very important for you and your family and your boys. Can you talk about why is that important to you?
Well, I think, I think everything happens in life, right? You asked me at the beginning whether I was married or I was single, and I said I was divorced, and I'm not ashamed of saying I'm divorced. But I think, the fact that we go through different experiences, we get consumed with the daily life, of being married, having a business, having kids, and having multiple things coming to you at the same time, that you sometimes forget to create experiences in your life and truly enjoy those experiences. Going through many things in the last 2 years have taught me that in reality, what is it that we have at the end of today? Thoughts,
Right.
and memories. Money is left behind. Cars are left behind. The house is left behind. Everything is left behind. But if you have to go today, if you have to say goodbye, what is it that you're taking with you? Experiences. And that is what I want to inherit my children. I want to, at some future when I'm gone, to say, my mom left me these experiences. And therefore, also, I'm creating that kind of environment and that quality of life for them that we enjoy every single week. We enjoy something together. We go out. And that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur as well. We can say, hey, let's cut it today at 1:00. Let's go down to the beach. And randomly, I will do things like that for them as well, so that they don't get consumed in the 9 to 5 thing. Let's break through that mindset of, I have to work, even if you're in your own business 9 to 5. No, let's break that mindset. Let's be creative and innovative, and let's just get out of that shell and say, today, I'm calling today. Let's go down to the beach. Let's go hiking. Let's go for ice cream. Let's go for this. So they create also that same mindset of entrepreneurship, but not tied up into a 9 to 5 as well, which is a mistake that sometimes we make as business owners. We're working 12, 14 hours a day, but are we really, truly enjoying ourselves and giving that experience that, like I said, 20, 30 years from now, they're going to sit down and say, Mom left us this. And therefore, this is what I expect to give to my own families in the future as well.
Well said. And a lot of people that are in the sales field, and the sales field is where you can make the most money. We're not doctors. I am the insurance doctor, but we're not doctors that we have to be on the phone constantly after a certain time. You don't have to drop everything to do things for people. Real estate agents, I love when someone calls, it's a hot buyer or hot listing. They drop everything instead of even qualifying the person that they're speaking to. They don't have a process in place so that their business doesn't just push them forward at all cost. You don't want that. You want to have those experiences. You want to have systems in place. Now, you are in real estate. You do property management. You actually help people with the property issues. There's issues that pop up here and there. Let's talk about property management. As far as you have people that trust you with their properties to make sure that it's managed properly, that you're going to have the tenants, you're going to have any issues that you're going to take care of. What are some struggles that you've run into with property management?
Multiple ones. It's I always tell people that it's the one field in real estate that it's the underdog. Like everybody thinks that we only collect rent. Oh, what's a property manager? They collect rent. That's all they do.
Yeah.
But we actually had, I actually was a guest speaker 3 or 4 weeks ago for a group of entrepreneurs and investors as well. And when they saw everything that we actually do in our company, they were very surprised and amazed. So we do everything from taking care of the repairs, like I said, rent collection and all those things. And everything it can be challenging. The main thing is learning the laws from dealing with tenants. Being able to know and have the experience as well. Because I hear people want to go into property management and open my own company, and they ask my opinion. What do you think is the first step that I need to take if I want to do and take that route? My answer is always the same: go and work for a property management company for 2 years. If you really love the industry after 2 years, then open your own company. If you don't, then it's not meant for you. Property management, and I'm not trying to diminish real estate because I also do real estate. Real estate, you pretty much you go and take a course and go through the experiences as you go, and it's pretty much very same process. Like it's you get to learn something new, yes, but in property management, laws, maintenance, liabilities, what are you saying to that particular tenant when you're renting as well? I've been accused of discrimination by my current tenants. I've been accused by discrimination by potential tenants. Even within my same Latino community, I mean, they think I'm Arabic for some reason. And I have a heavy accent. People can't even tell where I'm from. I mean, they think I'm Arabic, they think I'm Indian, they think I'm from somewhere else, but not Latina. So, and whenever I speak to them, they're like, oh, you're discriminating because I'm Latino. I'm like, not really. But it's a very challenging industry. You get sued all the time, so you have to have your own insurance. And by the way, Sean is my insurance broker. Sean is one of my insurance brokers. So you do get sued. It is the ugly part of being in business. You deal with maintenance and repairs. You deal with snow removal. Is my number one lawsuits every year. So thank goodness, and because of the process that we have and the quality of service we offer, we have never been in a lawsuit, let's say, of being negligent. But you do have, every year you have a tenant falling in the snow. You don't have insurance, you're not ready for something like that, then personally you can be affected. So I would say my major struggle, and I wouldn't call it struggle, but my major challenge is just being careful as a company of how we deal with those kind of liabilities, how you prevent them, and how you avoid your clients also going through something like that. One of the things that we take is fully training our employees. It's key part of our success as a company. We've been in business since 2007, and so far we only been sued for snow removal faults. That's my number one and only lawsuits 3 times in all those years.
Because like you said, you have a system in place, you have insurance, you have process that you're going to put people through, which is awesome. And I want to talk about that process. And for those that are watching, Matt Marinoff's been on. He's been back and forth, dropping some massive value. He's a very cool guy as far as the short sale. If you are watching, drop a comment, drop where you're watching us from. Don't forget to hit that share button, because the more shares, the more opportunities we can help others. That's why we do this, is to educate and help others. So with the process, do you have a process when someone calls you about, does your cell phone, or you have a business phone for your property management? Do you have one for property management and one for real estate? How do you have that set up?
We have a central system that goes to the office. We have 2 different departments. Every department is being handled by a different manager, meaning my property management department, we have a manager in place, and she handles everything for me in that department. And then in the sales department, it's another completely different person. Every department has their individual phone number, so we identify, who's calling and for what reason. And even within the same management department, we have 4 different lines. We have one for the vendors. The vendors call in for any emergencies or returning our phone calls. We have one for the owners. We have one for payments, and we have one for tenants. So it's very organized. We know how to stream those phone calls in a way that the right person always answers the phone. Let's say a maintenance call comes in, tenant leaves a voicemail. Somebody calls them right away within 5 minutes. We open a work order. The work order gets emailed immediately to the owner from the same system. So it's just a one-click away. You open the work order and it gets emailed to the owner. We have this work order. We're sending a vendor. The vendor gets called. Vendor goes to the property, gives a proposal. We email the owner, this is the price, and we do the repairs. And eventually we get an invoice, it gets paid, we do bank reconciliation and all sort of, that's fancy and fun stuff to do, accounting.
All the accounting, yeah, it must be monotonous as far as the amount that you have constantly piling up. But if you have a good accountant, you have a good system, again, the process is a little bit more smoother. And like you're hearing Vanessa saying, she has different things. People handling, I'm handling, managers taking this, a manager's taking that. You have 4 different phones for vendors, etc. So there's all a process. So it's not just like, I'm going to wing it today. That's not how we're going to do it. You're going to have a system that you have in place, which is great.
And when we take on a new property, the tenant, we have a letter already. It's a template. We explain the tenant what that process is. So they're not blinding going into a new system or a new company. And they're like, well, who is these people? And how do we go about this? And how we know? The letter tells them, if you have an emergency, call this number. If you have, between 9 to 5 is this number. After 5 p.m. is this phone number. You want to do online payments, is this website. You want to pay in 7-Eleven, here's a voucher, whatever. It's a process that it gets mailed to them, and email and text. So they don't get an excuse, I never got your email, never got your letter. It's text to them as well. It's a link, and they already include everything that they need, so they know what our process is, and there's no miscommunications with them.
Now, with social media, how important is social media to you and your businesses?
Very, very important, especially with COVID. I mean, we were doing a lot of social media before. As you know, I have my New Jersey landlord group as well. So we were doing our podcast. We're starting doing our podcast as again in August. All my referrals come from 80%, I think, from them. It comes from social media. It comes from Facebook. It comes from Instagram. A lot of referrals from bigger pockets. Just word of mouth, referrals from current clients, from other people. I don't pay for marketing. As a company, I have never paid for marketing. It's amazing. Everything is just the quality of service that we offer. If people are happy with you, they do refer you. Even if you spend $1 million in marketing, but you suck as a company, nobody's gonna say Sean is great.
Exactly.
Not really, So the quality of service that you offer, along with the fact that you always try to keep your clients happy. There's always going to be a client that is not happy for something, but if you strive your best, you know that you did the right thing for them. Okay, so social media plays a huge role in my company. We're always in social media. I'm always giving tips for people. I have a tenant group with almost 12,000 tenants and landlords in there as well. So I'm always helping those tenants. So people, I think, see that portion of us being in contact with tenants and trying to help them, that they like that too. Because, as a landlord, you want to make sure your tenants are taken care of. Not only your needs, but their needs as well. Because if they're not happy and they don't pay rent, they don't get paid. Yeah. So people notice that. People notice all the little things that you do for other people. So it's not only about what is it for me as a company, but what is out there. That's the reason I opened that tenant group, to help other people. And I think people see that as well. And they know me already. Oh, you're the lady from the tenant group, or you're the lady from the landlord group. That is always helping people. So helping others, it speaks loudly about your company as well. Or, your core individual traits and who are you as an individual. It matters a lot for me as an business owner. That's what keeps my business alive, because I'm honest. I don't think ever in the years that I've been in business, one client can say, she stole $5 from me. Never. You gave me this much money. At the end, if you sell the property, if you decide to go somewhere else, this is your money back. I counted every single cent. And, tenants can say as well that they were treated really fairly and properly as well.
I say the same thing. And when you don't have to pay for your advertising or your marketing, it's also, there's other ways around that. People say, well, how do you do it? Well, it's sweat equity now. Now you're taking some time out. Like you heard Vanessa say, she had a podcast and she's bringing it back in August. I do these videos for years now. And this is, and like Vanessa, I haven't paid anything for Facebook advertising, Google advertising. But it's to the point now when you do so much marketing the way we do it, people now see insurance or they see property management or real estate. They tag us because of the value that we've been given over a course of time. People say, oh, I don't have the time to do it. I don't, wait, rewind. I have like 3 kids. I have one that had a liver transplant. And people say I have no time. I have time to work out now. I'm trying to prove to people, look, I have what I have and I'm working out. I'm doing my shows. I'm writing insurance. I'm helping people on the fitness journeys. If you have the mentality to do it, you can do it. If you say you can't, you'll never be able to. But I'm trying to prove to people, look, it's all about consistency. You know, making phone calls. Oh, I don't like doing phone calls. Start doing them consistently and watch how it changes your game. People, I bring up with real estate agents, do you ever walk or canvas your neighborhood and door knock? Oh, no, that doesn't work. But then I'll talk to a couple agents and they say, that's where I get all my business from. So whatever works for you, go 100% into it and watch what happens, because it might not work for somebody else, but it can work for you. But you need to try it. That's a key thing, I believe. And, with networking, a lot of people network face-to-face, in person. I used to do my monthly things, and I'm hoping to start them up in the next month or two. The online networking is a very big thing, and you're doing it with your groups. What made you think about, oh, let's put a group together of tenants? Who did you come up with that? Did someone teach you that? How did you come up with that idea?
Just me. I think 2 months prior to COVID, me and my kids were going to actually volunteer in a local senior center. And I took them there, wanted to get their approval first because, I want them to be part of helping others. And everything was going well. We were going to start volunteering, and then COVID hit. And I said, oh, okay, so we can't do this. So how else, what other resources I have right now that I can help others? And that's how I came out with the Tenant Group, because I have so much knowledge in renting, real estate, property management, that if you notice, my group is not, New Jersey rentals. It's specifically targeted to Section 8 and affordable housing tenants, people who are in less, disadvantage versus a cash paying tenant that, perhaps has, a better financial position than others. And these people are depending on government, processes or government assistance, and sometimes they're not educated in the process. And I know this because I deal with them on a daily basis. And I know that even when they've been on the system for a while, they haven't been really trained, or they haven't really been informed of what the processes are. And the processes keep changing every year too. And with COVID, a lot of things change as well. So that's when I opened my group last May, at the end of May. And we grew 12,000 members in 1 year. People approach me individually, not necessarily in the group. They ask me questions. I have a lot of moms that they're in shelters. A lot of, mainly, I think 80% of the group members are single mothers, or, just females that they're really struggling. They're going through a phase that it's in disadvantage, or they don't know what to do, and the guidance from somebody is needed. These shelters after COVID, they don't have the personnel. They were not there. There were phone calls, and a lot of times they were closed. You couldn't reach anybody. So opening a group like that, I think, was a relief for them to find similar people just like them, that they're helping each other. And sometimes they just reach out to me. Somebody reached out to me 2 weeks ago, and she was afraid of posting something in the group. She said, I'm going through a domestic abuse situation. I don't want to put my profile, and I don't want to ask the question, just because I'm thinking that he is going to be looking at what I'm posting and where I'm going. So please, if you can help me post in behalf of me. And I did it, and I calmed her down, and I directed her to go to a local shelter in her county. So even though we couldn't go do the senior center with my kids, I opened this, and I think that I'm helping people, and I am. So it wasn't because of profits, not whatsoever. I'm not even thinking, I haven't made $1 from that group. It was mainly helping others, but helping others, I think other people see this, landlord sees this, and then they're like, okay, she truly cares for tenants and for people. And they contact me for management for properties as well.
I do the same thing, helping others, and I love hearing it when people are saying it, because that's what's passionate about me, is I want to help as many people as possible. And you do things with the love in your heart to educate, to give value, instead of just focusing on making the sale. And that's what's great to hear from you. And you're doing it with your kids, and people say, oh, I don't have time for things. You can make time. And we want to prove this to you, even if you have kids. If you have no kids, there's no excuses. You should be able to do a lot more things than if you and I, compared to what we have to do. So if we could find the time, you can definitely find the time. And it's, and very important to put yourself out there, because like Vanessa said, she's not even making any money off of it, but she's buying brain cells. She is in that community, the value she's bringing. Someone talks about buying a property, renting a property. Guess who they're going to mention to their family member, to their coworker, and that's their silent sales force. So people say, oh, I don't have anyone that's helping me. You have a whole community. I have tons of people. That's why I've changed my whole tagline as the connection machine, aka the insurance doctor. Anyone can do insurance, but if I could help you grow your business, help you with your pain points, guess who you're going to remember for insurance? That's what we can do. So the more people I could help, it's karma. It all comes back. That's
Correct.
what I've found. And it doesn't cost anything. It's free. But people want to spend money, advertising, and they're just saying, sell with me, list with me, rent with me, buy insurance through me, instead of providing that value. The value is so important. And I'm all about the value of our time. I appreciate you. Is there any final thoughts that you can share with us today?
Well, I think, as a business owner, and as a mom, when you do a business, do it with passion. That's number one. If you're doing something because of the profit, you might find happiness and contentment for a couple of years, but eventually it's going to burn you down, right? So do a business that you're passionate, do a business that you love, and do it because I on a personal level, I'm doing it because I want to inherit this to my kids. Whether they want it in the future or they don't want it, it's up to them. But, I want to leave a legacy to them, and for them to feel proud that mom gave them this, or they have to earn it. That's another story.
Mm-hmm.
You know how people build business and they give it to the kids and they're like, in a year, there's no business. They have to earn it at some point. But in the sense that I'm building this for them, I'm building security for them in the future, that they can say, well, mom worked hard for this, and she did it the right way and the honest way. So whenever you're in the business, be passionate about it, have love for it, and do it honestly. That's all I can say.
Well done. How do they get in contact with you, Vanessa?
Well, they can go to my website, www.crown, CROWNE, crownmgmt.com, or our phone number at the office is 201-381-1028.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day on a Saturday. Thanks for dropping some massive value. Thanks for being a great friend, a great client. And I definitely want to make sure that if those that are watching, you haven't connected with Vanessa yet, please reach out to her, friend request her, join her groups, listen to what she shares, because she is a wealth of knowledge, and definitely say hello when you see her out in public as well. So thanks for everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, please share this live. We would definitely appreciate it. And if you have questions for us, drop them in the comments. We will be happy to answer them as soon as possible. So I hope you all have an awesome rest of your day.